Amazing Rimuru fans, the creator hopes you are enjoying the new videos. YouTube has stopped monetizing her channel because they don't accept text-to-speech voices. They want her to use her own voice for all the characters, but she knows you will not enjoy it this way. Your support will help her continue to make videos for you. Check out her Patreon page to support her. The link is in the description.
We're witnessing something amazing here, folks.
Wait.
I whispered.
So it's kind of like Gobta extracting all of Ranga's force for his own use?
Impressive, isn't it? Ranga seems to be giving himself up to Gobta, but this combo might work a lot better than I thought.
But we're talking Gobta here.
And Gobta is my apprentice, remember. He may not be the greatest physical specimen, but he has experience fighting magic born more powerful than he is. If he can ably harness Sir Ranga's power, he may grow in ways I cannot predict.
My officials seemed impressed, at least. And the rest of the crowd was watching on silently, holding their breath.
Now it's my turn.
It's been your turn, dude. Masayuki hasn't done anything. My jealousy was driving me to pick on him internally. Then Gobta disappeared before my eyes, figuratively. My eyes could follow him, but I'm sure most of the audience thought he vanished.
Gobta is gone?
Soka shouted, very deliberately drumming up the tension.
Where did he go?
I knew she could see him as well, nice performance on her part. And then, right before her eyes, boom, there was a small explosion, accompanied by a thundering sound. It was located by the wall under the stands, right by the VIP boxes I was in, as it happened. Thus, I had a close-up view of Gobta, right after declaring it to be his turn, running straight for Masayuki, and then continuing to run right past him, until he smashed into the wall. I knew he should have rehearsed that first. Even before he tried it, I knew there was a pretty big chance he'd screw it up.
Whoa, Gobta isn't getting back up. Is he alright?
He wasn't. In fact, bashing himself against the wall had knocked him unconscious, and the out-of-bounds line was far behind him. He was out. That idiot had no control over that transformation at all. Everything worked great up to taking in Ranga's powers, but I could see those powers treated him like a chew toy. To put it simply, he wanted to start running, then stop running, but his brain was still judging these maneuvers based on his original body dimensions. A second of time in Gobta's world was far different from that same second in Ranga's. Before he could even think to stop, his head was against the wall. Even worse, as Soka pointed out, he showed no sign of getting back up. It was the shock of the collision, rather than actual physical damage, that had knocked him out. What can I say? First he reveals this super cool new monster, then he reveals himself for the dolt he is. Very true to character. I was stunned into silence.
That fool.
Benimaru muttered, eyes turned upward.
That's Gobta for you.
Shion snickered. Veins throbbed on Hakuro's forehead.
Wow, so that's your fighting apprentice, Dad?
And Momiji added more fuel to the fire. It was, shall we say, a hard-to-describe sort of tension. And Gobta deserved it, frankly. The crowd around us was also having trouble parsing these events. I could hear one of them try to explain them, based on the sparse evidence at hand.
Wait. Did he throw him aside in midair?
The arena was so quiet, the words echoed oddly well.
Amazing. Amazing, Masayuki. Whoa. That was awesome.
I barely even saw it happen. This is just too crazy.
The praise for Masayuki spread like a virus across the Colosseum. Then, as if this explanation was the unvarnished truth, cheers began to erupt, heralding Masayuki's victory before Soka and Diablo could even take action. My neighbor, however, was quivering with anger.
Is this some kind of twisted joke? After looking all cool like that. I mean, what was that?
After that radical transformation, this was the result. Gobta had shot expectations sky high with Milam, then sent them crashing down to earth. It only amplified her anger.
Now, I think he did his very best. In his own way.
Rimuru, you know spoiling him isn't good for him.
That's right, Sir Rimuru. I think I have been too lenient with Gobta as well. We should all be more stringent with him going forward.
Hakuro agreed with Milam. This was the first I heard of him going easy on Gobta.
Right. I'll whip him into shape. Rimuru, let me borrow Gobta for a while. I'll make him into the most wonderful fighter you've ever seen.
Milam's eyes were sparkling now. This was a rare monster, and she just had to have him, I was sure. If I nodded my approval here, that'd be so mean to Gobta. but then I thought of something else.
Actually, I have a favor to ask of you. I'll accept your offer if you accept mine. How about that?
All right. Let's hear it.
So there's this set of ruins in Clayman's domain, right near his manor. I don't want people poking around them without permission, and I think they're packed with artifacts that'll teach us about the ancient past, so I've been keeping them untouched for now. And I'd like to explore these ruins, but I wanted to get your permission first.
Why are you asking me?
Because it's your domain now, doofus.
Milam, who's the ruler of that domain right now?
Frey asked Milam quietly before I could even say it.
Oh.
Milam shot straight up in her seat.
Oh, right. That's me, isn't it? Right. I knew that.
Great. Glad she remembered.
So.
Of course it's fine.
That was easy. Maybe Milam just wanted to put the subject behind her, but as long as I got her permission, anything was fine. Sorry, Gobta, but at least I was achieving something out of this. I mean, Gobta essentially self-destructed, and I still didn't know anything about Masayuki's skills. He wouldn't mind if I at least got some use out of this travesty, right? It'd help build him up, besides. All's well that ends well.
But when you do this exploring, Rimuru, you'll take me along, right?
That'll depend. I've actually reached out to an expert from the Free Guild on this topic, but if they give the okay, you can come, sure.
Oh. Sounds like fun.
Yeah? Don't get your hopes up. It might turn out pretty boring.
I continued to chat with Milam as we awaited the certified results, which took a few minutes. Finally, Soka and Diablo wrapped up their discussions.
The judgment is in. And while I'm concerned for the still unconscious Gobta, the winner is.
Don't remind me, I thought as I listened to Soka's announcement.
Check this out. Transform.
Came the shout, and only then did Masayuki realize he was being far too optimistic. Whoa, wait a second. What's that thing? I heard nothing about this. There was no way he'd finish Gobta before any summoning took place. He was transforming his own body now, something Masayuki totally didn't expect. The sheer power in the air was electrifying. To the amateur-level Masayuki, this looked like a towering monolith of strength. He knew there was healing potion on hand, but no way it could help him. It couldn't raise the dead. Dude, if one of those claws tears through me, this armor's about as good as cardboard. If I knew this was gonna happen, I never would have turned down full plate for being too heavy. For that matter, he realized in the midst of his reverie, not even a full suit of magisteel armor could help much.
Ha 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 ha.
Gobta shouted.
Now it's my turn.
Then, not waiting for a reply, he burst into action. Masayuki was this close to saying, wait a minute. I give. His life, he concluded, meant far more to him than his pride. Faced with this transformed monster, victory no longer mattered to him at all. But regardless of what he thought, events moved on without him. Before he could say, I forfeit, a rumbling boom echoed across the arena as Gobta self-destructed. Masayuki, unable to react, just stood there dumbfounded. A small piece of the stone wall scratched against his cheek. The stinging pain told him this was all too real. No way, I could never have dodged that. I know people misconstrue my words to my benefit, but if I wasn't able to get away with murder like this, it'd be hopeless for me. It was clear what would happen. Gobta would be disqualified, and he'd be crowned champion. But Masayuki began to wonder if that was really good for him. Would winning this provide him with anything he wanted? The right to battle a demon lord? You gotta be kidding. That's totally suicide. Masayuki wasn't a fool. If he was named champion, it'd be him against the demon lord Rimuru. He understood what that meant for him. That black wolf who just whipped by him, as well as Lion Mask from yesterday, were both opponents he had no chance of beating, and they both worked under Rimuru. Pick a fight against that guy, and he'd just get pummeled. Pummeled? More like killed. It wasn't about whether his skill would work or not. The demon lord was in a whole other universe, it was hopeless. Thus, Masayuki decided he needed to get out of here, pronto. Seriously, the crowd thought he threw that freak into the wall? That was just depressing. He had to do something fast, or else Gobta would lose. Masayuki's mind raced faster than it ever had before in his life. How could he arrange things so he could lose and remain in one piece?
The judgment is in. And while I'm concerned for the still unconscious Gobta, the winner is.
Oh crap.
Wait.
Masayuki went on the move, panicking internally but playing it cool on the outside as he brought his hand up toward Soka. Soka figured Masayuki had something to say, so she handed him a spare mic.
I think I lost, actually.
He said, trying his hardest to keep his voice from shaking.
But, Masayuki, sir.
Soka replied, bewildered.
It looks very much like Gobta took himself out of the match.
Perhaps, but you know, I couldn't keep up with that attack at all. I don't think I have the experience needed to challenge a demon lord quite yet. I just thought.
He spoke slowly, trying not to get tongue-tied as the sweat poured down his entire body. It was a real stretch of an excuse, but he tried to make it sound as reasonable as he could. Then, without saying anything else, he walked out of the arena and never looked back. If someone asked him a question right now, he'd have no answer for it, so he decided to just leave without another word. With my skill active, I'm sure the crowd will imagine some way to make that sound convincing for me. Right now, getting out of here's my best option. Masayuki had never focused so much on moving his legs before now. But it worked. He was out of his potentially lethal pinch. Gobta was just lying there, sprawled on the ground, but then Masayuki declared out of nowhere that he lost.
What is he thinking?
I don't know.
He couldn't have been scared of Gobta. What's motivating him to do that?
Benimaru and Shion had no clue what had happened, either, as they watched Masayuki walk off. So was he just a big fake after all? Or was there something else going on in his mind? Ah well, if Masayuki was giving up on fighting me, then I'd call it a good way to settle matters. The crowd, too, was confused at first.
Is it because he can't drum up the will to face the demon lord?
No. You saw that throw. It was masterful.
He said he couldn't keep up with his attack. Is he hurt?
There is a small cut on his cheek.
What? He managed to land a blow on Sir Masayuki?
The murmuring continued anon.
Wait. I've got it.
One man screamed.
Sir Masayuki just gave the demon lord a reprieve.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.